Rob's just fired the chipper up because it's making a bit of a clunking noise on the drive down here. So we're going to see if we can see what's wrong with it. I think the problem is this bearing in that pulley there. I think that, see the play in that. There's a bit of play in there, but that pulley's wobbling. So I think we need to change the bearings in that. Just been trying to straighten this guard, so I put the bucket underneath and I can pull it back down straight. But the gas strut's that powerful, it bends it back. It's obviously got a bit, it's like its weakest point. It doesn't have a rib all the way across because of where it closes on here. So I'm just going to take the gas strut off and put it on that end where there's one seems to be missing. And hopefully it might bend back into shape then. Then we're going to take this pulley off, see what we can see inside wrong, whether it's the bearing or the pin, the bolt one. Yeah, it's the shaft in it, bouncing up and down inside the bearing. To build it up with weld or something. Get on the lathe. Handy's just, someone's van's failed its MOT, and when he's took it apart, it's because someone's put the wrong discs on. So the discs have been too small. The pads have been biting past the edge. So look how it's worn. It's done a year of driving like that as well, before anyone's realised. It's nuts. Just shows you how good them high vis are. There's Charlotte running with Chester, half a mile away. Rob's just going to wiggle out. We've got a little bit of a knock up here as well. Don't know whether there's a damper inside that pulley. There's going to be a damper. This is like the main drive pulley with like 6 V-belts on it. Swap the gas struts and it's still springing back, but I've noticed now it's because it's bent along here, so I'd have to put something up there and jack that straight. That's why it's not wanting to sit proper. You see the bend in that bar, can't you? Just tweaked it with the pallet forks on the Mini Merlot now. Let's see if it's enough. Possibly not. Try it now. Pull down on that now. Is it still going a bit? No, it's snapped there as well, hasn't it? Well, no, because it never had a ridge there because of where it closes on that pulley. But it's got no strength in the diagonal, as it's just flat plate. It needs like something bolted to this side. We'll see what it's like now. Could you move the basket out of the way? Just tilt us back. It's a bit better. Yeah, it's got a tweak across there because the battery's been a bit dodgy on this. It's not really been used much. I'm going to go for a run on it now, look at some weight, see how it's coming up, and give it a good run. It's got this track you can see properly over hedgerows. This is the field that we thought had a bit of a slug issue the other day. Anyway, it was too wet to thread the pellets, if you remember, and it's still not had them, but it's grown on it, it's past it, it's out the woods now. There isn't really much sign now of any chewing whatsoever, and it has come up. A few stones here. There used to be a gas drilling rig site on here, so we'll probably have to roll it in the spring just to push these rocks and bricks down so we don't end up combining them up. But yeah, we've actually got away without putting pellets on it. This is the one next to it where the sunflowers failed, so this was where we drilled into grass. So the grass strip here is coming up lovely. That's obviously protected the soil from the erosion of the rain over the summer. But where we go on to the bit where it had that cover crop of buckwheat, I think it wasn't dense enough to protect it, and there's areas where it's quite compacted in the top layer. I mean, it looks like nice green rows in places, but if you look, well, it looks worse on the camera than in the real eye, but you can see like a couple of areas here and over there where it's just a bit bare. The middle of the field, you see the headland was sown that way and then the field was sown that way, so you've kind of got this crisscross pattern, and it's just a bit thinner. You can see the nice green lines, but from a distance it looks quite bare. But it is there. If out the 500 odd acres a week we've put in, there's just this sort of like 6 or 7 acres that looks a bit not quite its best. I'll take that. You know, it's such a percentage wise, it's not much at all. It looks a lot better than it did a couple of weeks ago. I was a bit disheartened a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was a total re-drill job, but as it happens now, it's just a little bit thin. Feed it. It could, I mean, it won't break any records, but it could do all right. Just get some fertiliser on in the spring to push it on so it tills quicker. There's obviously less plant numbers, so what plants we've got, we want more shoots on them, so we can manipulate that a little bit. I mean, Ian next door, he says he's sooner manage a thin crop than a thick crop. He says they're easier to manage, so maybe he's right. I do like to see the field looking green myself though. It's a bit here that must have been a bit slug patched. You see, it's like you got that row there and that row, but then this one is just gone. So that's either crows or slugs chewing away at it. We can see chewed there. There's a little bit there nipped off at the bottom as well. So if it dries tomorrow or this afternoon, I will get some pellets just on this bit here. But, you know, go over the clay bank here and it doesn't look too bad again. This is the other end of the field after the beans. That looks great, nice neat rows. Don't know what lives there, but it's dug a fair hole. Put my foot next to it for scale. Just thrown all that out. Would it be a mouse or a shrew or something? I don't know. Yeah, that's good, but then you turn around, you've got this clay bank, so we've got nice sort of, can't really see, you've got nice green lines there. You get onto the clay soil on the top of the hill where it's obviously the topsoil's washed down and it's just thin. I don't know, like an 8 to 10 metre strip along here. There's nothing growing really at all, but get to the top of the hill again, and there we go, nice green rows again. So if it comes dry, we'll come in here and patch this up, or maybe in the spring we'll patch it up. But this is, I don't know, 40 odd acre block maybe, and it's got probably 2 acres in it that are poor. Just looking here, that's neatly trimmed off. That won't be slugs, I don't think, doing that. I think that'll be the hares on here. Not sure when it was, but I think it's probably April time, maybe May. We chipped a load of bales of straw that had been around the sunflower maze and we spread them on here. There's quite a layer. Well, that layer is virtually completely gone, but can you see all these crummy bits of soil? They're basically all worm casts. So you've got this like tilth on the top. See it there? That's what the worms, zoom back out. These are what the worms have made. So they've been taking the soil and pulling it in, taking the straw and pulling it into the soil and leaving this tilth. There's a slug there. Yeah. So it's nature, I suppose, working the ground for us. But yeah, all these bobbly bits, the whole field, it's nearly every square inch is covered with them. That's what we call worm casts. And this layer of what was chopped straw has just been eaten and pulled in by them. sunflower update. Pigeons are pretty much stripping them bare. But just thought I'd show you this. So we run the mower down here the other day so that they can get in easier for shooting pigeons, and it's peeled open a few of the stalks, and that is just like polystyrene, the core of the sunflowers. It would be nice if I got a dry week and just mowed it and baled it, but I suppose I don't want the seeds in the bales, but you'd end up with some more insulation then. Yeah, there's not a lot left on them now. So the mould on them because they've never been sprayed. Still, if the pigeons are eating these, they're not eating the OSR, so you can stay on here. Looks small when you park it in a big field. These gates got damaged a few years ago. Someone backed into them. They're difficult to close, but I'm gonna have to close them with a telehandler because someone's been coming in with a four-wheel drive, making a right mess. I think we need a new gate, don't you? It's a bit bent. It's even springing shut actually. Well, they don't look pretty, but they're shut, and I've got the lock on. I think I'll have to order two because that one's like diamond shape. Just thinking about it, them gates, I consider them as being new gates. But when I work it out, I bought that field 10 years ago, so them gates are 10 years old. So I know they're a bit battered and bent, but it's not too bad. I just thought they were like a couple of years old, but really they're 10, so I'll have to get some new ones. Got some guests at Brookhouse, and they've made well, they've not made a mess in the hot tub, but they've drained the water in the hot tub and they need some of the chemical to put in, and they've run out of it. Don't know how, because of loads. So I'm just gonna go to B&Q. So I'm in full electric mode. Press the EV button, so we're not using any fuel on the way to B&Q and back. And of course, it's absolutely silent. Just been V&Q, £93 including the VAT. That's like 76, 78 quid for a leaf blower, petrol leaf blower. I thought it was an absolute bargain. One we've got at home doesn't start very well, so we'll see what it's like. It's got a 2-year guarantee. Like the amount of pipes, it's in a vacuum as well. Can't see it on the pictures, but take it out and see if it starts easy. Clip the spouts on. I'm not bothered about the hoover bit. Let's pump it and see how easy it starts for the first time out the box. Maybe give it some choke. Pull it and see what happens. Third pull. Was it the third pull or the second pull? Has anyone counted? Anyway, I found out what these drawstrings are for on hoodies. It's so you can do that and wipe the camera. So this new phone, where the camera is, you have to swipe down when you want to answer a phone call. It means you get fingerprints all over the cameras, so you can polish it with the end of these. Before we do the birthday bumper, I'll just say the tractor run is the 19th, Monday the 19th of December. I've got lots of people messaging me saying when's the tractor run. We're not open for entries yet because we're still trying to finalise numbers with the police. As soon as that is, I will let you know on here and everything else. Anyway, here's the birthday bumper. It's massive today, and it's actually gone up another like 150 odd pound, I think. So quickly now, John Everett, Alex Davies, Andrew Calvert, Tom Fettles, Jack Paris, Alex Cann, George Tucker, Graham Atkinson, Scott Smith, Sally Thomas, Farmer Luscombe 35, Katie Musket, Matty Wiley. Happy birthday everyone on there, and anyone else whose birthday it is today. I reckon tomorrow it'd done £700 in 1 week, which is just amazing. That's £100 a day, so that adds up to £52,000 in a year, which is just astounding. So thanks for everyone for the donations. Anyway, back to the tractor run. Like I say, Monday the 19th. We're going to hopefully leave the yard at 5 o'clock, and it'll probably take 2 to 3 hours. So we're going to change the route slightly so that we can spectate it better. People can spectate it better on the Strand in Liverpool. We're going to try and do 2 loops, but we've got to get permission off someone else because we've got to want to cut through a private road. I think it's owned by Peel Ports or the steam packet ferry company. We're not just short anyway, we're looking into that now. We've got the food bank sorted as well. That's going to be at Stanley Park again, and we're probably going to have a donation collection point in Liverpool, somewhere by the Albert Dock, is the plan. I've just been on with Ian Pern, the MP today, who helps me organise all that. So it's going to start happening soon, basically. Lots of organising to do in the next few weeks to get it all ironed out, and then we can start taking entries for the tractors. Anyway, that is it for this week. Thanks for watching. Sorry, not this week, for today. That is it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow.